But
Yeah,
this is just
so
one that, yeah.
this is the one that I'd really encourage y'all to get on. It's really good because it's got the dollar for dollar depreciation.
Hmm.
I mean, that's just such a valuable thing to get dollar for dollar. It's like great.
Right.
Usually, if you're getting 50%, that's amazing. So to get,
Right.
yeah, you can just whack it right off your taxes and you can roll it over, use it next year. You can use 100 of it this year, 200 of it next year, whatever.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly versatile for people who are in real estate. And so what you do is you use it, you need to be a real estate professional
Yeah.
and you use that to just wipe down your taxes.
So when you sell, whenever you sell that property, what's it, year 4 or 5, right?
Correct.
That depreciation, from what I understand, needs to be paid back. So how would that work when it comes to the rest of the investors?
Do you know about that, John?
Well, what's the rest of the investors? Us as GP?
Uh,
Because if it's,
uh,
yeah, I don't, are we taking any as GPs? I don't think we're taking
Yeah, we're taking
much.
some.
Yeah, if they're coming in with 1.5, there's 1.7. So
Yeah.
just 200,000. So that's all it would go to us, the 200,000 bonus depreciation. And then the 1.5, 1 to 1 would go to whoever comes in with that 1.5.
okay.
I think
All right.
I think what you're talking about is as far as it needs to be paid back at the end whenever you sell the property. So whenever you realize and have the liquidity event at the end of the cycle of this property,
Yeah.
then each person's taxes will show that income, but it's been depreciated now. And
Okay.
so you'll either pay tax on it then, or you'll probably, what everybody does is you'll 1031 into something else, or you'll do some other tax strategy. You'll buy a life insurance policy with that. And
Or
so whatever you're going to do to
Okay.
uh,
or
tax avoidance.
yeah, or buy another one just like this with
Yeah.
and do the same thing.
Do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good to
Or
know.
It's
yeah,
just like
exactly. You get into
apartments.
it, you get into another one and get the depreciation from the next one. Same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
same
Okay.
thing.
Cool.
But
Yeah,
Keep
it's
that's
rolling it.
your liquid yeah, keep rolling it. Your
Yeah,
liquidity event that comes at
keep
the
rolling.
end is whenever you need to have that strategy in place.
yeah.
Right. Awesome.
So we've got uh
Yeah.
Tarun has joined.
Yeah, Tarun joined. Tasneem is
Tasim.
here also. Can y'all hear
Okay.
us?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, there you
There's
are.
Tasim.
Yep, I can hear you guys.
Okay.
There's Tarun.
Thank you.
There you go. I can hear you. Sorry.
I'm
Cool.
I'm just at the airport, so I'm just keeping myself on mute.
Okay, great.
Alex, do you mind recording this? And
It's recording.
oh, okay. Awesome. All right.
So Matt and Rob, you've kind of looked at the pitch deck quite a bit. We've had some meetings about it and asked some questions. Um, do the rest of you have any questions? Anything we can go over? Have you been able to look at the pitch deck any?
Yeah, we went over it last week. Matt, Rob, and I. So we went through it. There were a couple of questions, and I apologize. I was having some difficulties jumping on, but can you confirm what is like for the entire? I think it's like including the 75 acres undeveloped area. What is the total purchase price?
3.5 million. It's a $3.5 million buy.
Okay.
2.5 is owner financed at 7%, 3-year
Okay.
balloon interest only.
Okay.
So we're raising 1 million for the purchase, 500,000 capex. And we
Okay.
believe with that 500,000, with the amount of marketing we're going to put at it and the small improvements we're going to make and the big improvements to the website, online booking, we believe we
Mm-hmm.
can double the revenue. Right now it's at 50,000 per month. We
Yeah.
believe we can double that to 100,000 per month within 6 months.
Okay.
And we
And what
have some
is
pretty strong evidence to show that just from dynamic pricing and online booking. He's already full. The place is already full, but he's
yeah.
charging the same price for everybody. He doesn't use any dynamic pricing, and he also doesn't do what's called boondocking. So there are actually more spaces than spaces, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some glamping. We'll add some glamping locations like teepees, which will be real popular, and the front of it. So, it'll get people's attention that want to that don't have an RV, that want to come out and camp, get away.
When anticipated closing?
May 5th.
May 5th. Okay.
So we are on a time crunch, and we've been on it for a little while. And so we'd really like to just go ahead and get it closed on the 5th.
How much of a raise do you have right now?
How much will you have raised now?
Yeah, so far out of the
0.
1 point. Okay.
Alex, any way that you can just kind of go over the pitch deck itself, just at least on an
Sure.
overview basis, and then we could probably have more questions after that, possibly.
You want me to share it?
Yeah, why don't
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
share it?
Okay. I'll do it right now. Hang on. It's disabled right now, Alex.
Okay. There you go.
I have it up and ready to share.
There you go.
Okay. Here we go. Let me know if you can see it.
Yep.
Yeah, we can see it.
There.
Okay.
You see it with the yeah.
Make it a little bigger, John.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me
If you download it, then
yeah, let me do that.
Thank you.
Let me just confirm your minimum investment is going to be the 100K, correct?
John.
Actually, we're looking for one group to come in for the whole 1.5.
Okay, so you're not going to entertain separate like $100 or $200,000 contributions?
We haven't we're considering it if we don't have someone. We've got a couple other groups that's looking at it at the 1.5.
Another strategy we've looked at is we've been applying for a bridge loan simultaneously as doing the raise.
Mhm.
And so that on the 5th, we're working on having a bridge loan for 6 months, and then we'll just launch a 506C and have $100,000 minimum, the same as you were just mentioning. And we'll
Okay,
just run
so-
a regular syndication.
Okay, so right now you have not launched the 506C.
Correct.
Correct.
That's why you need just a single investment party to come in and fund the entire deal.
Correct. But I mean, if we need to launch the 506, we've got the attorney on standby, and we have 15 days after we collect the first dollars to file with the SEC.
Okay.
yeah.
And so we have a standard PPM that's really well done that we could work up in a day and have a PPM to be able to sign to have the money in to launch the 506 and have it filed with the SEC. But we have 2 weeks after we actually take the money in to
Yeah.
file that.
Yeah, and I'm sure Tasneem asked about the $100,000 minimum, because I had emailed them the points after having the conversation with you, as far as that goes. So I just relayed what you told me on the phone with her, so that's why she's asking that.
Sure. So what we're raising is the 1.5 here. That's a required investment. Here's the offering, the way that we've structured it. One of the ways we've structured it was with an 8% pref and 15% JV equity, plus the entire dollar for dollar depreciation benefit. So the 5-year commitment, expected refi in 3 years. We think we can get this refied in 3 years. Usually it's 5, but since it's already cash flowing now and it's such a quick path to growth, because he already built the septic for double the size of the entire property. So we can double the size of it way cheaper than we could and way quicker than we could on a regular property. At a 10% cap rate, this asset is expected to be valued at roughly 11 million. We think that that's pretty conservative, and we target an ROI of 20 to 30% for our investors. We expect it'll make around 140,000 per month. It's making 50 right now, and we're looking to pretty much triple that. Let's go to the next one, John.
Okay. Is that the next one?
Okay, so this is the story. The main thing we've been talking about is that the boomers are retiring, and that's why we're so focused on this area. We realize that not only are a ton of people moving into being clients, but a ton of people are moving from that industry into being sellers because they've owned it for 10 or 20 years. They didn't ever finish it. Usually this is our favorite ones where they go and they build it and they build half of it because that's all they can afford. And they're planning to expand in like 5 or 10 years. And then they wind up making $150,000, $200,000 a year. And they're like, why would I expand? I'm happy now. So those are the ones we go out and find. So this is our specialty. This is all we do. We just do upscale RV parks. We don't do mobile homes, trailers, storage, multi. We don't do anything else. We just specialize in just this. And so that's why we've gotten some skills at.
Okay.
How about the next one, John?
Yeah, and also the biggest group right now is millennials and Gen Zs making over 100 grand. We know that that's what the biggest movement is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what's happening in the industry. Last year, the industry made 600,000 units and produced those and put them out to the market. To give you some comparison, the Ford F-150, which is the most popular vehicle on the road in America today, produced 700,000 in the same year. So RVs, 600,000, Ford F-150, 700,000. So almost as many F-150s as you see on the road. There are that many RVs out there getting sold. And so that's the level it's gotten to. Thor is one of the biggest producers. They had an $18 billion year. It's a 100% increase over a year ago in how much they're manufacturing and producing these units because there's that much demand. Winnebago, of course, you've heard of Winnebago, huge in the industry. They're up over 50% from the previous year and 33% increase in earnings per share. Arvik is the American RV Campground Association. They estimate that we need to build 53,000 new RV sites across the nation just to keep up with demand. Mm-hmm. So we're already way behind on demand. That's why we got into this industry. It's another reason we like it.
And another thing, there's a slowdown for people buying RVs, but the people who have bought them and who like to RV and do this kind of vacations, there's still demand for the new sites. The old sites, they're over, they're overbooked and there's not enough of them still. So even though there seems to be a bit of a slowdown to deliver new RVs, there were 2.7 million expected in 2021. And with the pandemic, what we got was 10.4 million new RVers. And of course, some of those said, okay, this is not for me. This pandemic's not going to, last forever. But now we still have that momentum from the pandemic. That's why we still need 53,000 more new RV sites. Go to the next one.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you can see how the recreational vehicle boom has been going up since 2010. Mm-hmm. And then you can see 2020, it really started to skyrocket, of course, during the pandemic. Let's go to the next one. Now here's 2020. 21 was just as big. Look how big of a jump. So we see it keeping, even though it may have, like John just mentioned, it may have slowed down a little bit. Look when it's slowing down from. I mean, it's slowing down from a rocket ship. So it's not really even leveling off. It's just not growing as dramatically fast as it was. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
So here's kind of what we talk about all the time. These are the problems in the industry. RV parks today are what storage parks were 25 years ago. They're fragmented. They're run by mom and pops. There's hardly any institutional money in it. The owners don't use the online booking. The owners don't use dynamic pricing, and owners don't reinvest into the assets. Did I lose y'all? Do you have a hotspot on your phone? My phone died.
The office areas, some of the
So sorry about that.
offices that were people were investing in, they've kind of slowed down in that market. Like I just saw an article today, San Francisco's office space is down by only 40% now. And I know Dallas also dropped quite a bit in other major markets. So now they're looking for other places to put their money. But they still haven't quite caught up to this yet.
Mhm.
Alex, we're right here on owners don't use online booking. If you want
Yeah,
to
so about 80% of the customers only book online, and 80% of the owners don't book online at all, and they don't even have online booking. They'll have like a version of online booking where you can like email them and they'll email you back, and people are like, "What are you talking about? You're going to email me and set up a phone call to do a reservation?" And so the way that we have it set up is we use all the top technology. It's exactly like checking into the Hilton. Whenever you come to our place, you're going to log on, you're going to pay with your card just like us. You're going to get an automatic email, automatic SMS text. The day you arrive, you get a text that says, "Welcome to the spot." You just click on this video, and we're going to show you a video of how to drive directly to your spot. Then whenever you get in there, you get another text, and it says, "Click on this link. We're going to give you firewood." And you know what? We already have your card on file, and we're just going to charge your card. And then as soon as they charge it, the manager on site gets an email. It's all integrated. They get an email, take firewood over to camp spot number 2.
and I got a good example of what happened last weekend, not this last, but the weekend before. So we book a spot, and we book 2 spots so we're going to one to do some investigation to see how they're running the park, and we like this park. We like the way they're running things, and we kind of model some of the stuff that they're doing. And we book another one out at Lake Fork, where we have our other project. So we get out there, and I go, and we're like, "Okay, where are we going?" I said, "Well, let me look at my email." No emails. I go, "Did they send me an email? I can't remember." No text, no emails. I have no idea where I'm going. Right. So they didn't even have that. And when we got there, they asked for cash. And so I'm like, "Okay, here's your cash. I'm paying them cash." And I made nothing. Right. And they said, "Well, we just don't do that. We're old school." I'm like, "Man, we got to look at buying this park." Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. We love to see that because I mean, it just makes it so easy for us to dominate the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they also don't use dynamic pricing. One of the things about dynamic pricing, it can double your net revenue, your net income. Because what it does is it pumps up your net margin, because your COGS pretty much stay the same, but you really increasing that net margin is really increasing the profit, what actually goes in our pocket, that chop at the end of the month. So dynamic pricing, like if you take from 80% to 90%, it doubles net margin. So 80% to 90%, only 10% increase, but it doubles net margin. That's what dynamic pricing does for us. We take and set, whenever we start to get full, we raise the price. And this is all automatic, and it's all just like a hotel, just like an airline. It's all built into the software. And at 50% occupancy, our rates raise 10% per 10% of occupancy. So it just keeps going up, and it's almost like it compounds. And so by the end of it, we get double the amount that we could have gotten without dynamic pricing. It's a really powerful tool. And most owners just they never even heard of it. They have no idea. They're not even using it at all. The place we're buying Natchitoches that we're talking about today, he has the same price, even though he's 100% full all through Christmas. Same price.
Yeah.
No dynamic pricing.
Mhm.
That's one of the ways we're able to go ahead and just double the income of that park within 6 months, and we feel so confident about it because we've seen it. We know how it works. It's simple math. And then another big problem in the industry is the owners don't reinvest back into the asset. It's one of the reasons we're asking for the 500 capex. That 500,000 is going to go towards improving a lot of the facilities that are just kind of mediocre. And one of the ways that we get the best money, the best rates, and the best occupancy is because we have the best amenities. The way to have the best amenities, you got to pay for it. We have to buy nice stuff. We have to fix up some of the things that are just kind of okay right now, we need to spend a little money and fix them up. And that's what puts us at the top of the rates that we can charge. We'll go to the next one, John.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, some of our partners that we work with is Jones, Lang, and LaSalle, which is JLL. Our preferred builder right now is I build turnkey RV parks for our investor portal. We use cash flow portal. You guys may have heard of this some. Also using Ron Beard. He's been doing this for over 30 years. Mint Bank is one of our banks that we like to get our loans from. Our marketing, of course, we do all kinds of marketing through Facebook, Airbnb, TikTok, Instagram, RV Share, Hip Camp. A lot of these are great for our marketing. Alex, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, this is our process. So people ask us, how do we go find these properties? What do we do? We look at about 20 to 30 properties per month, and we only pick out one property out of about 20 to 30. So we're getting rid of almost everything. We're only looking for a very narrow, specific buy box. We want an attraction to the area. So that way people are coming there already without us. There's already a reason for people to be there. Of course, we want a shortage of places for them to stay. And we look for RV parks that have a value add component. And so we have about a 15-point checklist I go through, and I really want to find RV parks that fit exactly into what we're looking for. Because why are we going to go change our model? We have a model. We want to find the RV parks that fit into that, plug them onto our platform, raise the NOI, refinance. It's a pretty plug and repeat system, play and repeat, where we just do the same thing. And so that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for those that can fit into our model, and we'll do the same thing to them. And so, like I said, the prime asset will be one with a value add component where they built it out about halfway 10 years ago, and now they're ready to sell. And we can just basically come in, buy it, double the size of it, and we're going to quadruple the revenue because we're going to double from what they already make by putting in dynamic pricing. Then we're going to double the size of it. So we're going to 4X this property. Anyway, that's a standard property for us. That's what we look for. Go ahead.
Yeah, and some of that dynamic pricing, the way I explain is at the top, you got the dynamic pricing, and at the bottom, you got the yield management. So if there's some months that, are maybe a little bit slower, we do more marketing those months and also lower that price. So then you get your yield management. You still have people come in, and maybe you switch it a little bit. Like this one in Louisiana, we love the transient or the vacationers, but if it comes to the winter months, we're also looking for the people from Canada. Now, you got to remember that my mom's a full-time RVer, so I know the people who we need to market to, like some of these schoolies or things like that. We bring them down from up north, and we say, okay, hey, we lower our prices and we do more monthly instead of more nightly and weekly rates. And that way we fill our park during, let's say, January and February.
Okay.
So here's some of the things about the town for this one we're talking about. This is how you spell Natchitoches. If you look at the top of the screen there, it looks like Nachitoches, but it's Natchitoches. They filmed Steel Magnolias there. It's a real pretty town. It's very picturesque. People are constantly vacationing there, and they come and they stay in the Steel Magnolias house. It's a big wedding place. A lot of people from the area come around from way down Lafayette, Baton Rouge. They'll come up there and have their weddings in this town because it's just real beautiful. They got this Festival of Lights. That's one of the reasons he sold out at the end of the year already, is because people come from all around for this big, huge festival in the town. They've got tons of outdoors, hunting, fishing, hiking. They've got everything in that area. They even have this, I don't remember how to pronounce it, but it's the national park there, the national forest, right near the town. Then, of course, they have the tourism. It's a little bit like a small New Orleans. They call it, they have like a baby Mardi Gras. They've got a river running through town. They got like a little French Quarter type area where it's really picturesque, and maybe like 5 big, huge churches all right in the area, the big cathedral style. So it's a really pretty town. They get a ton of traffic through this town, and our venue, our RV park also has a wedding venue. We haven't really talked about that park yet. Let's go
Yeah,
to
I
the
think
next
it's
one, John.
coming up.
Yeah. Here's what it looks like with 75 spots right now. This picture, of course, is whenever he first built it. It wasn't filled up yet. It's 100% occupied right now with a waiting list, because we also have 3 pipelines being built in the area. So when people come and work on oil pipelines, they'll work there for like 2 or 3 years, but they'll only be there for 6 months at a time. So they'll come and they stay in their RV for 3 or 6 months, and then they go back to wherever they're from. They love this kind of an RV park, and they fill it up. They'll pay top dollar. So whenever we do long term, we look for properties that have that kind of long term, and we still try to keep it at below 50%, closer to 25% of our total occupancy being long term. We like short term. We're trying to sell the smallest amount of space for the smallest amount of time, most amount of money per unit of time and space. And that's what RV parks are. If you take a big property and you break it down to the smallest, probably about the smallest you can do is about a parking space, like an RV spot. And then if you take it and you take the time from ownership down to monthly, down to weekly, down to nightly, that's the smallest amount of space. Smallest amount of space, smallest amount of time.
Yeah, and you can tell most of his are pull through, and there's a few over to the right of this picture that he has some long-term back ends.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's a nice overview of it. It's 70 acres that are outside of the 10 that are already developed. So it's 80 acres total. Next. It has 2 ponds. We've got this great little putt-putt golf area here. It comes with ponies. So we get 13 ponies that come with it. We're going to have a pony ride in the front. There's a humongous lawn in the front. It's gorgeous. It looks like a park. And it's right up against the highway, and it has all of the highway frontage. So in the front, that's where we're going to be putting our glamping tents, the big teepees, and we'll have a pony ride in the front next to it. So it'll be really great from the highway. You'll be able to see the teepees, the ponies. It's a really beautiful place. This is a brand new general store that was put in, never even been used. It's got like a muffin and bread racks inside there. So we can either rent this out or we can use it ourselves. We've got a manager who'll be on site. That's Nicole Bordelon. You'll see her later on in the pitch deck. She's the one who found this deal, and she's there in Natchitoches. So she'll be either running the general store there in person, or she'll rent it out. She'll rent out the space to have somebody else run it. We're exploring both right now.
And as you can tell, this guy, his wife is disabled, so everything is ADA compliant. He made sure that it was all compliant. You can see the ramp right there on the left side of that building.
I remember seeing Nicole in some other bridge or call. Is she did
Yes.
she used to work for the U.S. Treasury or something like that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How did you connect with her?
We connected with her in Black Card.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I met her maybe pretty close to the beginning of when I got in Black Card.
I see.
So this is the event venue. It's a big, like 2,000 square foot house 3,000 square foot house, and he's gutted out the entire thing. So it's one big, huge meeting hall. He has a large patio that you can see here in the pictures, and it's just gorgeous. He's only charging $750 per weekend. So it should be about $1,500 per day. So this should be making 4 to 6 times more than what it's making right now.
But that hall is not part of this property, right? That's the adjacent.
Yes, it is.
It is part of this property?
Yes.
Technically, it's on another parcel, but it's all part of the same buy.
Okay, because I was wondering, because it said event venue on adjoining property, so I thought, okay, maybe you're just trying to, position your marketing or whatever. But this is, oh, okay.
This is part of the purchase. This is part of the 3.5 million total buy. It's part of the 80 acres, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It has this real long driveway because it's kind of at the back of the property.
Yeah.
And so we've already got plans to put crepe myrtles, which are these really beautiful flowering trees all along that entryway. So as far as a wedding venue, family family reunion venue, any of that. It's really top notch.
And right now they're charging $750 per weekend,
Yes.
and you're planning to increase that gradually another 6 times. You're saying?
Not gradually. That should immediately be 1,500 per day
Yeah, per event. Yeah.
per event, and there might be 2 events in a day.
Yeah.
It's altogether possible. So that'll come down to Nicole as well.
Yeah.
This is where it is. This is where it is right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Quick question. Did we get the actuals, like the numbers, like like what it's producing right now?
Yep, that's a big challenge we've had. The seller won't give it up because he's got everything mixed. So he's got commingled accounts with all of his cattle, all of his land, all of his construction, and this RV park. So no, we don't have any of that.
Okay, because it would really help if we had actuals right now. I have a couple of people in mind, private equity, that maybe we can possibly make it work, but I know that they're going to ask for actuals.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know we can't get him. He won't give him. Well, first
He
of all, he doesn't have them. It's all.
doesn't have them. Yeah.
It's all written down in a notebook, pretty much. Right?
Yeah.
Not even that, to tell you the truth. It just comes into his bank account and he just spends it.
Yeah. Just
He
a
doesn't-
bank ledger. Everything goes
But
in
I
the
mean,
same
we know
account.
what the rent roll is. We know what he's been charging, and we know how full he is. So that's what we've been using to recreate the financials.
So have you created the financials with like at least just the rent rolls, like for now?
Yes, we have that.
And is that something you can send over? Because like something, at least something would help. And then we can like compare that to the performance that you have.
Do you have that, John?
Yeah, we have that. I think it's on our shared drive here. We can definitely send that over.
Yeah, that'd be great. The link to the shared drive.
Okay.
You want to get down to some of the numbers, John?
Yeah.
So this is another, showing that's 5 acres of where it is now. Let's go to the next one. Here's some of the detailed sources and uses, what we're going to be doing. We're paying $1 million. We're going to spend about $75,000 on upgrading the clubhouse. Marketing budget. We're making some of the slots more premium. So we've got about a $235,000 construction budget. We always do a 10% construction overrun, 1 year debt service, and 1 year working capital. And so that gives us a total construction with overruns of $500,000. So that's why we're looking for the $1.5 million investment. Let's go to the next one. Here's what we plan to refinance within 3 to 5 years. We should start that in 3. So we think it'll have a value of $11 million at a 10% sale cap. 60% LTV on that will give us the $6.6 million that we think we can pull out in a refi. And that'll give $1.2 million to our JV partner. Our JV partner should be making about $18,000 per month at their 15%. That 15% with the 8% pref, sorry. Here's our projected IRR, 14%. After the sale, 30% almost. ROI, 32%. And then the rent multiple, cash on cash, 3.47. And equity multiple, 3.8. So these are our projections. And we feel pretty confident on them. Let's go to the next one, John. We can get this up to $180,000 revenue. It's only got about a 10% cost because we keep all the management off site. The manager on site is very, very low cost. We got our management company. That's where we spend the management company, 20% cost percentage. So we're looking at 80% margins. And the more we get our cost percentage down, the higher those margins, the higher the net margin I was talking about. Because once we get from 80 to 90%, we can double our actual net margins. 80%. So let's go to the next one, John. This is what we call our Paradise Pledge. We rolled our mission and our goals and everything. We put it all core values in one thing. We say our Paradise purpose is we provide a home away from home while our guests escape their everyday lives. I've personally set a new personal mission for what we're doing, and it relates to, it's kind of like the overarching theme that affects all of that. And what that is I'm on a personal mission to empower 1 million fathers to connect more deeply with their children during campground and family outdoor activities. And so everything that we're doing it relates back to my personal mission. And that's what this Paradise Pledge is a lot about. So our Paradise properties, we create properties of lasting value, superior design and amenities. We've taken a ton from the Ritz-Carlton and the Four Seasons. We look at the high luxury brands and we try to take the same sort of mentalities and work ethic and put that into our staff. Back to the staff, Paradise people. Our people make the paradise, so we build up our people to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. We're instituting educational programs for the people. We've already been training with property management and the companies we work with. We've paid for a lot of training and a lot of updating of the software and learning new software. Paradise Profits, we thrill our capital partners with investor-focused technology. We use cash flow portals so that K1s, distributions, sub docs, getting your wire transfer in, all of that is automated. We put it all into a system to where it's wrapped together and it's easy for the investors. And then Paradise Places. We bring paradise to the communities we build in and community in the places we build. We have a program, it's called Bike the Blue that we sponsor. We're financial sponsors of that 501c3, and they buy bicycles for bicycle cops in the areas where we have our properties.
Right.
So yeah, so in the tourist area, they'll have a lot of bike patrols. Well, these cops were buying their own bikes, buying their own equipment because the counties and the cities just didn't have the money. So our property management company is run by Stephanie Culver, and she has her own 501c3 that specifically just goes out and just buys bikes and just gives them to the police department. And so
we've
that's
already, and we've already approached Natchitoches to supply them bikes, and they're interested.
And so that's really great for us whenever it comes to dealing with the municipalities and the officials in town, to be able to be with the chief of police, giving them bikes and helping them out.
Right. And then if we have any problems, they're more likely to, help us out pretty quick.
That's right. How about the next one, John?
Okay, here we go.
Here's our team. John McGaw's in 8 syndications as either a GP or a lead LP. He's got a ton of experience. He's raised $10 million, and that $10 million has become worth $100 million. And so he's really been top notch. I've been thrilled to have him as a partner, and his experience, and even from doing flips and having his own construction company to now running these huge syndications has been amazing. He's got the experience, and he's really the anchor for our team that we depend on his experience and his knowledge, and we follow his leadership. And then here's me, Alex Alexander. I'm the chief investment officer for our group. So I go out and find these deals, underwrite them, and I am relentless in getting rid of deals that are not great. I look through so many deals. That's all I do is look through deals, really, and a few phone calls like this. But digging through these deals, building the teams, building the infrastructure to bring them in, that's what I've been doing. I had some success over in Hawaii, and that's what's here on this page. I have 56 acres over there now that still pay us about $30,000 per month. And I made a 5x growth on those properties, 36 properties I bought for $300,000. I made a 5x growth for my investors in 6 months. So I got them $1.5 million worth of receivables in 6 months off of $300,000. That's my little claim to fame, what I've been up to. Here's Stephanie Culver I was just talking to you about. She's the CEO of Buzzworthy Property Management. She's been at Komatsu. She's had some really top-notch leadership positions in corporate America, and we're proud to have her on the team. Here's Nicole that I was talking about. She actually found the deal. She was a former commercial banking, treasury management, sales consultant. That is a long title, but she was at Wells Fargo and JP Morgan. Sharp cookie, man. She's been real sharp. She's really been on top. She's been creative, and we've had a great time working with her. And we're looking forward to her being able to manage the park and run the boots on the ground side. And we feel really confident in that from her. And This is us. John McGaw's our investor relations, chief capital markets officer. I'm Alex Alexander. And thank you for spending the time, and appreciate your attention to see this investment with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex and John. Have some Some questions here, if you can answer them.
Please do.
Yeah, so you're raising 1.5, and the purchase price is 1.5 as well. So this is a cash deal then, right? Am I? No, it's a mortgage.
Well,
No,
it's a 3.5 purchase total.
Oh, 3.5. Okay.
Yeah, and
maybe
2.5 of it is owner finance.
yeah.
1 million is to pay the seller, and then 500 is CapEx.
Yeah, and the sellers finance it for 7%.
Okay. All right. So 1 million paid to seller.
And you said that was like a 3-year interest only, and then balloon payment at the end of the 3 years, which is why you're talking about the refinancing at that point, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
I see. Okay. Payment. End of 3 years. Okay. All right. You said, sorry, 3.5 purchase, 1 million paid to the seller. We have 2.5 left. And then 1.5 of that's going to be raised. So we have a 500,000 left, and that goes to
CapEx.
the CapEx.
CapEx.
All right. I thought the 0.5 of the 1.5 is the CapEx.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
What if, do you have like an exit strategy? Like, what's the whole time that you're anticipating?
Well, we like 5 years.
Yeah, we like that too.
But the
Yeah.
other thing is, if we refi in the 3 years and take the cash out, we'd like to just sit there and let it run for 5 or 10 more years and just take the cash flow.
Right. If
We're
everybody's
not really
paid,
gonna, yeah, if everybody gets paid on that refi, kind of the juice is already squoze out of it
yeah.
to go sell it again 2 years later. We've already taken too much of the profit in the refi.
If the JV at that 5-year mark wanted to exit, would that be an option?
Yes. We'd have to figure out exactly how, but yes.
No, I'm just asking because I know that these are questions that are going to come up. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the refi, we may be able to get everyone out and just own it ourselves.
Yeah. We would pay off the pref with the refi, and pretty much with the refi, we'd have the option to buy out whoever wanted to get out at that time.
Sure.
it's a possibility at 3 years at the time of the refi.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Do you have the appraisal for the current value of this property?
We don't.
But Nicole was supposed to be working on that. I'm not,
Yeah.
they're a little bit slow. They're shorthanded. Just like everyone, but
Yeah.
we're trying to get that. That may be a reason why we'll extend. And the owner's real nice. He's a great guy. We met him,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows the problem with getting some of these guys out there. They've been waiting on him to get out there and appraise it.
Mm-hmm. And maybe there's other ways, like, so without the appraisal, like, how did you come about saying that 3.5 is a good deal? Is through other types of comps in the area?
Yes.
Okay.
And Nicole has more of that information also that we have compiled. It's over in the shared drive.
Yeah, let me
We have some.
Let me see.
Yeah, we have some of those comps compiled and such too.
So are there RV parks, well, around there, or what, like within the same vicinity? Other RV parks, is there competition?
No,
Not really.
they
Not
don't
really.
have any competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next RV park out from there would be how far apart?
30 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Minimum 30 minutes. So when you have comps on RVs, it's going out at least that much time, right?
Right. At least 30 minutes away.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you have the rent rolls, the comps Nicole has, appraisal Nicole might have, right?
That's right.
And then you believe that this will increase in value in 3 years to around the $11 million aspect, right? and that's because you're going to be increasing the excuse me, the NOI through the dynamic pricing. That's one
right.
big, renting out that hall for double the price or more. And that's going to take some marketing and beautification, right?
Right.
And the general store, I don't know if that's going to be significant, but it's already 100%, what do you call, occupied.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to see where the value add would be. The value add would be in some of the improvements, right?
Well, the first thing we do is we do the dynamic pricing,
Yeah.
and then we start offering what's called boondocking. So
Mm.
Nicole is really tied in with a lot of these communities online and Facebook.
Mhm.
There are ones that are called schoolies. That means that people built them themselves from a school bus.
Mhm.
That's great and all, but a lot of RV parks don't want you to plug in because they don't want your unregulated, unlicensed electrical system to mess up their electrical, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so they don't want you to plug in there, but we'll allow them to what's called boondocking, which means you don't plug in, you just come and you stay kind of almost off in the field. You stay over there, and they have their own solar, they have their own generator, they have their own dump tanks and water. And every 4 or 5 days, they'll go someplace else. They'll dump their tanks, they'll fill up with water, they'll get gasoline for their solar or their generator, and then they're back.
Yeah.
And so, since we're the only people in the whole, like, within 4 or 5 states that will let people do that, people come from a far ways away. So that's one of the things that we're offering whenever we expand immediately with dynamic pricing. So we're gonna have like 25 more spots immediately without spending any money on that, just on the marketing to get those spots filled.
Any plans on the rest of the 80 acres on
Yes.
development?
Yeah. So we
No.
plan to develop the other 75 spots and then 20 to 50 cabins throughout the property because there are 2 other ponds.
Uh-huh.
So that'll come, that number will come whenever we have an actual architectural designer who can go over it with a topographical map and figure out how many cabins we can fit on the rest of the property.
And that's one of the reasons of why you're projecting this to be worth 11 million, because you're going to include those cabins as well in there, or
Without the cabins, it's 11 million. The cabins make it worth more.
I see. And when are you planning to develop the cabins?
Either with the cash out refi or after that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The cabins are kind of phase 3 if you want to look at it that way. We've got
Mhm.
phase 1, which means just adding the dynamic pricing and expanding the number of units by adding the boondocking.
Yeah.
And then after that is actually building 75 more RV spots. That's phase 2.
And you mentioned that there's ponies. How many are there?
13.
13. So I guess they're considered an asset too?
Yeah,
Because you can charge for that, right?
that's right.
Right. And who would maintain those?
Nicole will hire somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so-
Another question when it comes down to capacity, right now is everything on kind of well and septic right now? Or
Yeah.
are you tapped into like county or city?
No, septic.
And the septic is only 50% used. He built it to withstand or to accommodate 150 units.
And then
only
there's
70.
it's well water, or is it like city water or mud?
It's well water.
Okay.
You don't seem too sure. Is that sure? Was that
No,
final
I
answer?
no, I kind of wanted to think that part of the property was on city water at one time, but I'm pretty sure it's all well water. I'll have to double check with Nicole on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just trying to think about development, because if you're talking about putting in 75 additional RV plots and then cabins, then are you going to be tapping into in terms of development, what is that going to cost?
Mhm.
Even if we start off with 75 more pads for the RVs, like if it's not on well, then there's going to be some major development costs. So I was just thinking about it in those terms.
Got it.
Rob, Tarun, any other questions here?
No, not on my end. Just going through this pitch deck right now.
Alex, you have the address to this, or is this something that we could look up online? This
Yeah.
property?
499. Give me 1 second. Get the address for you right now.
And y'all have visited this place. It seems like you have.
Yeah, we've stayed there. It's
and-
410 LA 120 Natchitoches, Louisiana. Here, I'll put it in chat.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And so how far is this from a major city like New Orleans or any of the other cities?
about-
Let's go back to the we
It's
had
about 2 hours from New Orleans, isn't it?
yeah, we have had a map of that. Let's see, in that pitch deck.
So anybody who wants to go to Baton Rouge, Lafayette, or New Orleans
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, this whole half of the country, you have to go down this one road, which is 49, which goes right by this RV park. So that's
Mhm.
one of the other ways we get a lot of traffic is people going down there. Whenever we advertise online, they'll just see it on the road that they're taking and come and book and stay there.
Oh, I see.
That doesn't happen though if you're not really advertising online like they're not.
Correct. Okay.
So there it is. Little Rock's 260, Alexandria, Louisiana 50, Lafayette 145, New Orleans 240, Shreveport 70 miles, Jackson, Mississippi 230, Dallas 260, Houston 230.
Okay.
You see my screen?
Yes, I see
Okay.
it. I see it. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you have a 10% cap rate there, that's on NOI. So you're basing that off of fixed expenses only, or are you including variable expenses as well? Possible.
We're not usually really using the expenses to go for a cap rate. We just use the market cap rate for the asset class of 10% or of a 10% cap rate just for the asset class.
Do you know what the current cap rate is on the property?
No.
Because he doesn't. You're trying to get them to get you the financials, right? So
You didn't give any financials.
yeah. Okay. Tarun, any questions?
No, I'm listening intently. But no question. I'm about to take off, so if I cut out, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tarun is traveling, so. Okay, Tasneem?
No, I think I'm good for now. But just if you guys can send over that link to your deal room, so I can direct some of my people over there to take a look at least what you have.
You have that, John?
Sure. Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Sounds like we have everybody covered.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah, thank
for your
you.
time and to explain everything. You cleared up a lot. The added things that aren't in the pitch deck that you mentioned, really appreciate all that stuff. Thank you.
Great.
One quick question, if we have time.
Yeah, go ahead, Tarun.
Do you guys have a cap on any of the returns? Like if the property does especially well, are any of the returns for the partners capped at a certain percent or amount?
No. Unlimited.
Sounds great.
You have
Yeah.
unlimited upside with us.
Right.
Including
Yeah, and all of this, speaking on that, I know it sounds cocky to say this, but all of this is very conservative. We tried to tamp it down so that we don't blow everybody's mind when we're talking about crazy numbers.
And here's another
They
thing.
look like the numbers.
that this guy is already full. And again, he does not do dynamic pricing. We're going to come in there and we're going to advertise the crap out, excuse my language, but we're going to advertise everybody that goes up and down 49, they're going to know about us. We're going to clean this park up. It's going to look fantastic. And once they start staying here, we're going to treat them like kings, and they'll be back every year. And the more we treat them like kings and the better we get, they're going to want to stay there. And the more they want to stay there, the more our prices are going to go up.